Welcome everybody to this new webinar, new appointment with Forrec, dive into innovation with us. So today we're going to speak about waste electric and electronic recycling, so WEEE Recycling. And just to underline how it works, we are going to inform you that you can ask any questions during the webinar or also at the end of the webinar. You can use the chat below and we'll be available to give you all the replies to your questions. So today, my name is Luisa. For those who have already seen our webinar, I'm the marketing manager of Forrec. And I'm working with Forrec since 2007. Together with me, Mr. Nicolas Zitella, who is our sales executive manager. Please, Nicolas, present yourself.
Thanks, Luisa, for introducing me. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. I've been working in this sector since 2013, and for about 5 years, I've worked for a plant that recycle electronic waste. So I had the opportunity to know the operational aspect also from the point of view of the user. And for this reason, I hope today to give you a real contribution and support directly based on my experience in the field. And now, please, Luisa, go ahead with the agenda.
So thanks, Nicolas. So today's agenda is the following. So we are going to talk about recycling and clearly about Forrec, a company closely linked to this word and to this word. We will present you our range of products, our main applications, and we will focus on the waste electric and electronic recycling, which is the reason of your presence here today. So our webinar will end with some case histories of successful projects and companies dealing with this kind of waste. So before going through the interesting things and the technical part, which will be introduced by Nicolas, I would like to share with you the satisfaction concerning the growing of Forrec and the success of Forrec despite the COVID situation, the success which is mainly focused on these specific projects of the waste electronic equipment recycling and also refrigerators recycling. So Forrec growing certifies that the philosophy that we apply on the market is the right way to achieve great target. As you know, we are a company absolutely customer oriented. We pay a great attention to after-sales service, and all our installation and machines are as unique as DNA strands. This is why we have put this drawing in this slide. So this means that we work and we match our skills with the knowledge of the customer in order to make some kind of tailor-made projects with the goal to realize the perfect system to solve the recycling issues that our customer has. So please now have a look at the following video, which better explain why we are a step forward with you. hope you enjoyed the video. Just to summarize, at the end of the video, you have seen our main families of products, which are included in our range of products. So each item, of course, has a lot of models, and each model can be updated to customer requests. So realized according to customer requests. So this means that the panorama of our machines is really wide and in continuous development. So we have 60 different models, which includes the two-shaft shredder, the four-shaft shredder, rotary shearing machines, multi-crushers, single-shaft shredders, granulators, and hammer mills. The machines are, as a result, useful for different applications, which are waste to energy projects, tires projects, e-scrap, and when we talk e e-scrap, we're referring to a very large sector in terms of electronics, starting from refrigerators, household, washing machine, and so on. And then ferrous and non-ferrous, plastics, wires, and electric motors. So it's a wide range of applications, but our applications are in constant development because we are dealing every day with new challenges. The recent one is the one with the solar panel. So we hope to have very soon a solution also for this new scrap. So this was just to introduce you who Forrec is, and now we enter in the real aim of this webinar, which is the WEEE Recycling with single machines and complete installation, together with Nicolas. Please, Nicolas, I leave you the word.
Thanks, Luisa. I would like to introduce you to this webinar, starting from the e-waste situation in the world, so as to give you an overview of the current world in this type of recycling and a reason to invest in this type of business. As many know, and as also we have seen recently during lockdown, the rapid technological change and the constant growth of the electronic product is also reflected in the need for e-waste recycling. Looking at some concrete data, we can easily see how in 2016, 44 million tons of electronic waste was produced, 49 million tons in 2019, and the forecast for the current year is to well exceed 52 million tons. Truly an incredible fact that we cannot ignore. Therefore, we are talking about an ever-increasing situation and a topic that will be the problem, but also the business opportunity of the next future. A worrying but encouraging fact for future investors is that in 2018 and 2019, only 20% of the world's e-waste was properly recycled. Through new regulation and increasingly stringent control over electronic waste flows, the need to find systems capable of technically and effectively supporting the recycling of electronic waste is not an easy purpose. Therefore, the role of Forrec in this game becomes of primary importance. Of course, as we all know, otherwise we won't be here with you talking about this webinar, e-waste contains precious metal, including gold, silver, platinum, and palladium, but it also contains valuable bulky materials such as iron, aluminum, and other fractions, along with plastic that can be recycled and placed on the raw materials market again. Therefore, looking at the situation from an economic point of view, we are faced with a market with ample investment and profit margins. Now the question is, how can Forrec transform e-waste in a great business opportunity? First of all, turnkey solutions realized based on the needs of your market. We are aware of the fact that in such a dynamic sector, Forrec has the challenging task of adapting itself to the specific request of the client, supporting them with our know-how, which has been consolidated over 20 years with experience in the field. In order to earn to WEEE, what we have learned and what we are trying to convey to our customer is that reducing production costs, enhance raw materials, and reinforce the customer's position in both respect to the market and its competitors. So now let's see some concrete example of the treatment lines that we produce. Certainly, one of the most important examples of this business are the refrigerator treatment plants. I won't show you the technical detail of that system that will be explained in upcoming webinar, but let's try to understand together what makes the refrigerator system a perfect profit method. Before starting, let me say that the largest refrigerator plant in the world is a product Forrec. 120 refrigerator units are treated per hour on a single line. Now, looking at this first layout, we can divide the refrigerator processing line into 3 phases. The first phase is where we go to carry out a first reclamation of the refrigerator by removing the gas from the coil and the engine. And also we remove the internal components of the refrigerator, such as glass or plastic shelves and rubber. Consider that only with this third phase of work, we can get a gas and oil-free engine that can be resold on the market and at an indicative value of 500 euros per ton, so a great value. The second phase is shredding and volumetric reduction. Thanks to the shredding tower consisting of a four-shaft shredder and an overlapping double-shaft shredder, we guarantee a high production performance with an output product that maintains an excellent ratio between quality and homogeneous size for the following phase of separation of the fractions. In the shredding phase, the polyurethane is destroyed, releasing considerable quantity of gas. The goal and strength of Forrec in this phase is to guarantee a constant and uninterrupted production while keeping the cutting chamber free and clean of gas to avoid the risk of explosion or fire. The last third phase consists in the separation of components: plastic, iron, aluminum, copper, free of gas polyurethane. Consider that about 70% of the product obtained from this fraction can be easily resold on the market. However, power and high production capacity require a solid foundations regard to environmental problematic. In view of the processing of electronic waste has been recently defined in the WEEE regulation. And in this sense, Forrec works to help the customer respond with plants that comply 100% to the law in terms of emission limits, registration of treatments, product cleaning quality, treatment of CFC gas and pentan gas. To be considered a good investment, a plant must produce a lot, be versatile, but above all, it must have low maintenance costs. About this, the cornerstone technology applied to the waste is the primary shredder. The special blades that we have created, especially for the primary line of refrigerator, allow us to create a boost for the business of our clients. They are particular reportable blades, therefore they have a very long life cycle. This is the data we have collected from our lines currently operating: 750,000 refrigerators in 14 months, 8,000 hours of work without the need for routine maintenance, an incredible saving of 4% less on maintenance costs compared to a line with regular blades. So a really advantage for Forrec customers. To conclude the overview of the business applied to the treatment of refrigerators, I would like you to follow this graph linked to the mass balance of our refrigerator, with the exception of polyurethane that is still treated and reclaimed on our line. The composition of the refrigerator, which has a majority part of iron, non-ferrous, and plastic, make it an excellent product for the market. The combination of this data, along with a positive gate fee, obviously based on the Italian market, plus the technology that Forrec supplies, guarantees a sure profit. Another practical example of our business-driven product is the mixed WEEE treatment line. We are talking about an extremely versatile line that can handle up to 6 tons per hour, from large size appliances to small electronic devices. We can then process from the washing machine to the small printer, for example. The WEEE line produces a shredded and separated waste that is exploitable for the market. As you can see from the current slide, the blade of the primary shredder are not designed with a classic scissor cutting system, but instead keep some space between blade and blade to tear and open the material so as to prepare the waste for the following phase of manual sorting. This is essential because in the case of poor input materials, such as the washing machine, for example, we can immediately extract the components that can be enhanced on the market without the need for processing. The manual sorting phase on pre-shredded waste can be a quick and low-cost activity to obtain those materials that would otherwise be lost in the shredding process, such as electronic boards. To give a real-world example, think that in Italy, a PC processor recovered from the processing of WEEE can be worth up to 60,000 euro per ton. An electric motor of a washing machine has a value of around 400 euro per ton. So we have for sure considered this data. I don't want to focus too much technically on the second phase of the process, since for Forrec the priority is the customer need. So each line is modular or can be increased, modified, or simplified according to the purpose to be achieved. We often work as a prime contractor, and therefore we are used to collaborating with the main supplier in the sectors. I mean, for example, magnetic separators, eddy current machine, optical readers, or granulation lines. All these machines and the system can be easily connected to our processing lines. Therefore, this means that the second phase of the line will be decided on the basis of a tailor-made project according to the customer needs. In any case, to complete the layout vision, let's take a quick look at this line example. In the second step, we have a four-shaft shredder to obtain a homogeneous size of about 60 millimeters. Then a magnetic belt separates the ferrous fraction from the mixed one. The mixed fraction will be sent to an eddy current separator to obtain the division between mixed non-ferrous metal, such as copper, aluminum, brass, zamac, and bronze, from the mixed plastic fraction. On the other hand, the ferrous fraction will be sent to an hammer mill machine for further cleaning of the material. This is because the hammer mill has a shredding system much faster and more predisposed to the fragmentation and destruction of the input material, so as to free even those components such as screw and springs, which would remain stuck inside of big pieces of ferrous. Obviously, this type of shredding and cleaning is not possible in a machine with a low RPM. Just to give you an example data, consider that the speed of an hammer mill is between 400 and 700 RPM, instead of a classic blade shredder, which gets about 20 RPM, so a really big difference. In this line, I would like to focus in particular on the hammer mill, which I would say best represent our idea of a machine produced according to the customer needs. Solid and robust, with a production capacity around 7 tons, this machine has a production cost of only 3 euros per ton. The special double pulley was specifically designed to facilitate the changing of the hammers used after 900 hours. When you need to turn the hammers to work with the unworn side, you just raise the rotor and turn it completely. We can see therefore that thanks to the double pulley, the rotor ends are exactly symmetrical, and therefore both the right and the left hand can perform the wheel function for the transmission. Therefore, the downtime lasts 2 hours and will guarantee us another 900 hours of continuous work. This is a real big advantage for the end user. I have provided you a real-world example of the average mass balance of mixed electronics and how the relationship between reduced cost and gain is absolutely parallel and confirmed. As the refrigerators, also this technology guarantees you an high profit on the sale of your raw material. Okay, let's now quickly scroll through the following slide and see briefly other solutions and related applications that Forrec can cover. Stay on the topic regarding the treatment lines. I would like to talk about turnkey plants. All our systems provide a refining line according to the customer needs to complete the cycle of transformation from waste to exploitable raw material. As you have seen in the slide, Forrec offers technologies to treat components of electronic waste that we extract after the pre-shredding phase. Let's take cables, for example. As the value of non-ferrous metal increases, there is an increasing demand for lines to process materials such as copper and aluminum cables. Forrec's goal is to provide a lot of advantageous solutions that allow to reach a granules of purity value around 19%. This means that we have the structure and the technical capabilities to offer a complete solution that starts at waste and goes to granules. For further information and conclusion of the cable topic, I suggest you to ask our sales team for a brochure of the new single shaft model 1200. We have recently renewed our cable grinder, making it truly an attractive product in terms of performance and price. An economical machine capable of processing wall cable, obtaining a product of 25mm size and a constant hourly productivity of around 2 tons per hour. Another very concrete example is aluminum. Foundries are asking us to reach an ever higher quality standard, removing any contaminants other than aluminum. Considering the development of the automotive sector, we expect an ever greater demand on the market for this raw material. For this reason, Forrec has developed a line capable of processing cast alloy and profile aluminum without dispersing powder material, and above all, guarantee a product free of contaminants such as zamac and zinc. I shall conclude this brief presentation by talking about the side of Forrec to which peculiar plus, the after sales. Thanks to our spare part warehouse of 2,000 square meters and our support team, either remotely or directly at the customer's production site, we are able to support any special maintenance in a timely and effective manner. The focus that you have to aspire to in order to do a good business with WEEE is to have a solid line, complete with no downtime and with low production cost. And now we move on discussing about some real case histories. The first one is a recent mixed electronic treatment plant that we have installed in France. This line reaches 4 tons of processed material per hour. The owner of this plant strongly believes in the value of his staff and therefore requested that the line is composed by an important manual sorting phase as its main element. So as you can see from the pictures that there is an initial selection, and then after our crusher, there is a further and more precise manual selection line divided into 2 sorting cabins. As a Forrec salesman and technology lover, we believe automation is the future, but we are also aware that waste is a difficult product to handle and is often truly versatile and its composition, in its composition, so there is no better equipment than human eye to get the best quality output. In the second example, I have to say just one thing before entering in this plant. Unfortunately, I didn't sell the following 2 lines you see in the pictures, Ile de la Réunion and Guadeloupe. I would have like 1 month of inspection there between shredder, sun, and beautiful seas. Anyway, these are 2 French overseas territories which want to solve the problem of WEEE and refrigerator. Considering the dimension of the country and the number of inhabitants, they both decide to choose a single line able to process both electronic waste and refrigerators. The first part of the line is divided into 2 separated pre-treatment. The capacity of this line is around 3 tons per hour for electronic waste and 25 pieces per hour for refrigerators. It was a really complicated job because if it's true that the shredding phase is similar with both inputs, the issue of gas in refrigerators requires us to work very precisely to ensure environmental and worker safety. This other example shows a plant that has been recently revamped. This line was supplied some years ago. The line processes both input, big appliances and small appliances. At the beginning was a single line. Now, also considering the value on the market of these 2 different output, the owner decided to divide the line into separated processing lines. This is a customer in Hungary who totally relied on Forrec for an electric motor shredding line. You can see in the pictures our biggest hammer mill with its own soundproof cabin. This is a very good example of whole complete system since the customer has a first phase of pre-shedding and separation of the fractions, to which a refining line has recently been connected. So when we talk about turnkey solution, this is absolutely the perfect example. This one is our customer in Italy, Seval. It is one of the most important waste recycler in Italy. It has 2 refrigerator plants and 2 WEEE treatment plants. The line are completed by system for the refining of the end of product. So a really big customer that it has the whole systems. When I first spoke of a modular system built on the needs of the customer, I was referring precisely to this. In this specific case, the investment budget was not conspicuous, and therefore we start with a simple line that will be integrated in the future. The owner is a young lady involved in the employing of people in a company in order to manually segregate precious metal from the WEEE. At the beginning of this year, thanks to some financing, she had the opportunity to purchase a crusher to prepare the cases of the scraps for a simpler and more efficient manual selection. The next step will be the purchase of a shredding machine to calibrate the output dimension and an automatic separation of the recovered metal. The following plant is a recent revamping that I'm very fond of. It is a fridge line that is located in Spain. The plant produces 30 refrigerators per hour and has now been upgraded to 60 pieces per hour. Several people with reduced mobility work in this plant, and therefore the whole line is designed to support the operator in the disassembly phases. You can see a clear example in the photo. The conveyor belt have been equipped with refrigeration locking pistons to allow the operator to work safely and comfortably. We complete this short tour with a washing machine line in France. We have fine line placed in different regions in France. This plant process washing machine about 90 pieces per hour. The line is composed by first crusher with vibrating conveyor, and then we have a small sorting line with cabin. And at the end of the line, we have an overbelt magnet to remove the ferrous fraction. As a salesman and like Forrec, we must always keep an eye on the trend of the market. Since the washing machine is a poor device, we believe that this system responds in a simple and comprehensive way to its correct recovery start. By managing the waste with a single shaft shredder and a manual sorting line, we are able to optimize profit with low maintenance cost, immediately recovering the parts that can be exploited on the market, such as cars and electronic motors. We are at the end of this journey, and I hope you did enjoy this virtual tour on e-scrap recycling technology. Now I pass the word to Luisa to wrap up the webinar.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Nicholas. I hope it was clear and you really enjoy this virtual path through the WEEE treatment. So as usual, we kindly invite you to visit our website to find all the information concerning the different machines composing these lines that were explained also during the case histories. And you can ask for help to the expert to choose a shredder or to have also our professional experience to give you the best support. So just to inform you that our installation are real and our customers too. We can also show you our technology in action, both in our premises and in our testing area. So there is also the possibility to do some in-house tests with our own product. And sometimes by some warm and hospitable customers who are using Forrec machines. So at the end of this webinar, I have to say that profit is not a dirty word. And from also all the information coming from the presentation of Nicholas, you have seen that the WEEE treatment is a very profit technology. as usual, this is our motto, so a step forward with you. And we thank you very much for your interest and your attention. Of course, we kindly invite you to subscribe to our newsletter. So thank you very much for your attention, and see you to the next webinar. Goodbye.